Welcome to WYCD Radio. That stands for What You Can Do. It's your old pal, Jake, and I just want to relax this Friday with my friends on the internet. So that is the plan. It's been a fantastic week. Henry Kissinger is dead. I checked, and they did put a stake through his heart and cut off the head and put some wolfsbane on top of his casket. So it is very unlikely that he will get up to further harass humanity. Fantastic. In addition, Santos' career is dead. At least his career in politics. His career in crime, it never even took a pause. That's been fantastic. We're going to look at that. We have a whole bunch of random items, which I did not get to, but wanted to all week. So that's what we are going to do. But also, in an attempt to provide some free entertainment for folks, it's WYCD Radio. We're playing tunes with news and nonsense at the top of the hour. I look forward to it. Hope y'all are having a fun Friday. Lord knows you have earned it. Let's jump right into it. This is WYCD Radio, and first up, we have Missing You by Joshu.
Every weekday, storm out in the fight. We clash the comfort, the routine every night. How long? Oh, how long? Will you just drift in like a raindrop with your heart set on the sky? Trying to linger up and never meant to be here for a while. Oh, love. Oh, my love. I can pull myself only barely halfway, but the blank space kills more than anything. I love, oh my love, couldn't hold it all myself. I look down, there's nothing left. I'm missing you, I'm missing you. Oh, oh. Let me get more time, let me get more time. Give me one more try, give me one more try. No, I was like you were gone. Yeah, you can free your mind, you can free your mind. Got no more ties, got no more ties. All for you, just got me all from you. I can pull myself only barely halfway, but the blank space kills more than anything. I love, oh my love, just another round of I can pull myself only barely halfway, but the blank space kills more than anything you say. Oh, I would kill to hear you say my name. Couldn't hold it all myself. I look down, there's nothing left. I'm missing you, I'm missing you. Couldn't hold it all myself. I look down, there's nothing left. I'm missing you, I'm missing you. Oh, oh.
So what's the best time for you? We could play your games, but I could never see me lose. And I've been checking out your moves. You will slip and slide, but I can always catch your groove, catch your groove.
I've been hurt before and saw you inside me. Pulling on my heart, all the strings will fly. See, you can take the cake, I'm just icing. Blow so quick, never fuck with the Pisces.
But I learned quick.
You could change shape in a take. With a broken heart and nights
just still thinking about you. But baby, I've been doing all I can, and baby, I'm not built to fight like on the daily. But you know I just need a little training, and now I'm a little too much. We get stuck in this place where I'm lost without a chase, but I can't seem to find any better use of time. Come on now, baby, yeah, you know I just need a little training. Come get me. So what's the best time for you? Yeah, we can play your games, but I could never see me lose. Yeah, I've been checking out your moves. You a slip and slide, but I can always catch your groove, catch your groove. But what's the use, why we so dark? I like this better at the start. Just holding hands, forgiveness free, but we don't backtrack gracefully. But baby, I've been doing all I can, and baby, I'm not built to fight like on the daily. But you know I just need a little training, and now I'm a little too much. We get stuck in this place where I'm lost without a chase, but I can't seem to find any better use of time. Come on now, baby, yeah, you know I just need a little training. Come get me. So what's the best time for you? We could play your games, but I could never see you lose. And I've been checking out your moves. You will slip and slide, but I can always catch your groove, catch your groove. But baby, I've been doing all I can, and baby, I'm not built to fight like on the daily. But you know I just need a little training, and now I'm a little too much.
Flip and Slide by Joshu. One hopes that I didn't reveal things too early. It's a Wicked Radio Friday. Hello, Pinkerbell. Hello, concurrent watchers. We are enjoying the downfall of several of the worst human beings humanity has conjured. George Santos is donezo as a U.S. representative. Good. We're going to talk about that at the top of the hour. But first, Lee John with Run It Up. I believe this song goes a little hard.
Taught to be nice, ain't about winning, don't talk to me twice. I don't play dice, I'll make a move on the board, it's precise. The fuck is the price? I took a fiddle and dipped it in ice. I took a call and now I'm on a flight. Crew heading east, got a booking tonight. First stop is Atlanta, I got breakfast plans at the Waffle House. Next up is Miami, I'm hitting South Beach, fuck we talking about. Show out, we in Brooklyn, I'm on Flatbush and we rocking out. Then a red eye to Los Angeles, got a rich bitch waiting on the couch. Life's gonna try to hold you back, they gon' tell you that you still got time. Any minute this could all fade to black. That's why we run it up. I want more, it's not enough. I ain't come for the runner up. I go in, I'ma win a cup. I go in, I'ma fuck it up. I ain't gon' lose, I'ma level up. I've been down, but I got tough. Hey, run run it up, run it up, run it up.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back. Run it, man, we was on 100 since run that. Tell me where the lunch at, I ain't eat lunch yet. Now you gotta front that, let me get a fronto, let me get a blunt wrap. We was on a one pack, let me get a bust down, let me get an ace though. Now I feel jacked in, I was on a payroll, this is all back then. Oh my, I'ma need a whole pot, sitting on a big yacht, looking at a coastline. Lo-fi, bumping on 4-5s, never let a track sit. Please play the whole side, whole time co-stars, looking for a cosign. They ain't even close though, put them on a clothesline. Yeah, it's 2 kids, made it to the roof, kid, so the roof going now, listen to the proof, kid, yeah.
Life's gonna try to hold you back. They gon' tell you that you still got time. Any minute this could all fade to black. That's why we run it up. I want more, it's not enough. I ain't come for the runner up. I go win, I'ma win a cup. I go win, I'ma fuck it up. Ain't gon' lose, I'ma level up. I've been down, but I got tough. Hey, run it up, run it up, run it up.
Folks, I gotta tell you, I've recently come to appreciate an artist here called Zobari. No idea if I'm saying the name correct. I just know this gal has she has some of the best tunes on audio. She's in competition, in my humble opinion, with Lone Wild and Rocco. Heck, she's even in competition with Tiger Run. Some of my favorites on this. This is Winter Lover by Zobari. Give her a chance, you won't regret it.
Got to go to the liquor store to pick up a bottle of you. Found someone to have some fun, but it feels too good to be true. This is long overdue. It takes time, but I'm so through with you. You're not mine, and I'm not yours, but I like the background noise. Won't you make it up to me somehow? Giving in is what it's all about. Just stay for a minute, unless you gotta go. I'm down to take it slow. Just take another minute and let this flow. Won't you make it up to me somehow? Found myself in a record store, and the song they played reminds me of you. Drop the beat, feel it in my feet, and I'm hoping that you'll wanna come through. Cause I'm waiting for you, and this ain't love, but it's something to do. And I'm not yours, and you're not mine, but won't you waste my precious time? Won't you make it up to me somehow? Giving in is what it's all about. Just stay for a minute, unless you gotta go. I'm down to take this slow. Just take another minute and let this flow. Won't you make it up to me somehow? It's 3 in the morning, and your car is coming. Why won't you just stay tonight? It's 3 in the morning, and your car is coming. Why won't you just stay tonight? Oh, yeah. It's 3 in the morning, and your car is coming. Why won't you just stay tonight? Stay tonight, yeah. It's 3 in the morning, and your car is coming. Why won't you just stay tonight? Whoa. Won't you make it up to me somehow?
gotta go. I'm down to take this slow. Just take another minute and let this roll. And won't you make it up to me somehow? Won't you make it up to me somehow? Won't you make it? Why would you make it up to me
If you're just joining us, the headlines are, for the week, George Santos, outskis. Henry Kissinger, very much outskis. Donald Trump, on his way outskis. Slowly but surely, sanity returning to Earth. And as we sober up, we look around and see the horror that we've allowed to manifest. C'est la vie. Folks, we have 4 more minutes of jams. I'm going to give it all to Arizoberi. News at the top of the hour, but first, don't go chasing.
Have the answers. It shouldn't take this long. I'm a patient person, but now when I know you're wrong, while you sat there thinking silently and still, I guess you don't like talking much, and I don't think you ever will. I was running for hours. Read the signals, the red flags and the signs. Mama taught me better than that, but I ignored her most this time. I was running for hours, I was falling for days. I was trying to ask you, do you feel the same? But now I'm laughing, baby. Precious time with them on your mind. My sister said no, don't go chasing. You're done wasting your precious time with them on your mind. And my best friend said no, don't go chasing. You're done wasting your precious time with them on your mind. And my other said no, don't go chasing. You're done wasting your precious time with them on your mind.
Don't Go Chasing by Ares.
Maybe it's time.
Nope. Sorry, Ares. We're doing the news now. Top of the hour. WYCD Wicked, thank you so much for joining me on this Friday evening. It is a genuine pleasure. Boy, the great sorrow of this era is that it's hard to enjoy the heaps of victories that we're getting. We really are. We're racking them up left and right. It's hard to enjoy them because we get there by way of tragedy. We don't get the expulsion of George Santos without him scamming tons and tons of people, grandmas and grandpas, out of their money. We don't get a realization that the U.S. has had a terrible policy relating to Israel without a genocide. We have to suffer before we learn our lessons. But at least we are learning our lessons finally. I will remind you all of my perspective. Maybe you had a different one, but here was my perspective over the last couple of decades on Earth. We had less cartoonish versions of these things happening, more formal sounding, more dull, more legal language, but the same outcomes. People getting scammed out of money, thieves thieving from us via the government, literally turning public utilities into private wealth hoards. We've had all this stuff happening, and in the past, we didn't learn anything from it. Now, at least, we're learning. To that end, we've got a lot of good news. But first, let's read some comments. Pinkerbell, she did not have to go that hard, my goodness. I know. Give that gal a mic, and she will tear it up. I put about 11 of her songs in a row there. We're not going to listen to all of them, but I am going to listen to the best of the hip wigglers for sure tonight. But I do intend to mostly with y'all talk about the news because we've got some great stuff. George Santos is gone. Here is that historic moment. Only the 6th time a representative has been expelled from the House in its history. I will point out that 2 of the other expulsions were for traitors that refused to recognize Lincoln as president just before the Civil War. I might point out that there's a whole lot of Republicans that we could expel on the same grounds. But here's, let's hope, the first.
Under Clause 5D of Rule 20, the chair announces to the House that in light of the expulsion of the gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos, the whole number of the House is now 434.
By a vote of 311 to 114, U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson said Friday that his chamber had voted to expel indicted New York Representative George Santos over criminal corruption charges and accusations of misspending campaign money. The vote to remove the freshman lawmaker exceeded the required 2/3 majority. Santos, who became only the 6th member to be expelled, had little to say to reporters afterward.
You know what? As unofficially already no longer a member of Congress, I no longer have to answer some legal questions.
He added, to hell with this place, according to media reports. Santos has been mired in controversy since his November 2022 election. He has admitted to fabricating much of his biography, and federal prosecutors accuse him of laundering campaign funds and defrauding donors.
Just for clarity, he didn't fabricate his biography in the sense that he wrote a biography and put untrue things in it. I mean, he lied to the people who elected him about who he was. He might have mentioned to these people that he was a criminal on the run from the Brazilian law. That might have factored into whether or not they trusted him with donations, for example. And oh, hey, He stole a bunch of their donations. And oh, hey, he stole a bunch of Kevin McCarthy's donations. And oh, hey, he literally stole the credit card number of a Republican representative and his mother. That's who these people are. We should always make them, remind them of that.
Santos has pleaded not guilty to those charges. He survived a previous expulsion attempt in early November when hundreds of representatives voted against his removal on the grounds that his criminal case should be resolved first.
You know, your old pal Jake is usually very much in the camp of get rid of the bums immediately at the drop of a hat for any reason. I actually agree with the reasoning here. Even you know what? Set aside whether or not I agree with it. There is reasoning here. If there were Republicans saying, wait a minute, he's not been convicted of anything. I know there were some Democrats that were saying that. That's true. That's true. It annoys me a little bit. But it's actual reasoning for voting against expelling this guy. I want to point that out because we're in an era where most things are not done when Republicans are involved with any sort of stated reason. All the reasons are behind the scenes and shady. They're just evil. But I will give them credit where it is due in this regard. In that first vote, all right, I understand. And I'll further state, I don't think he's got a criminal conviction yet. However, sorry, I've got the plague. However, I can't stress enough. He was literally stealing credit card numbers from his coworkers. Like, we have to some degree, operate within the bounds of reality. It can't all be hypothetical. It can't all be, well, what sort of precedent will this set for future blah, 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 blah. I understand we are constantly setting precedent. I understand people will use this to try to expel people for nonsense, and they will cite George Santos as a reason that is now acceptable. It's going to be incumbent upon us, we the people, to communicate heavily with our representatives. Hopefully, if you're a member of the Wicked community, you're now used to contacting your representative. That's a habit of yours. Do it again the next time this comes around, when they try to expel somebody without a criminal conviction over a disagreement rather than an actual violation of the public trust. And make it clear that you know the difference between George Santos and what comes next. George Santos was a humorously and uniquely scuzzy individual.
Bipartisan congressional investigation last month found that he charged almost $4,000 for spa treatments, including Botox, to his congressional campaign account. He also spent more than $4,000 of campaign money at the luxury retail store Hermes and made smaller purchases from OnlyFans, an online platform known for sexual content. That prompted several Republicans who backed him in November's vote to say they would support kicking him out.
Side note, I should totally start an OnlyFans. I would love. I've been fiddling around with the idea of putting WYCD on wildly unexpected platforms just to fuck around. I would love to have an OnlyFans. I would more like to put WYCD on, like, MySpace. Have that come out of nowhere, right? Total retro social media platform. All right, let's watch the end of that.
New York Republican Representative Mark Molinaro on Thursday explained why he would vote to remove Santos.
He has manufactured his entire life to defraud the voters of his district an honest choice for a member of Congress. He has lied to donors and to colleagues, taking advantage of election law, using campaign funds to personally benefit himself. And he has defamed not only his office, but the institution itself.
Santos's expulsion reduces Republicans' already slim majority to 8 seats. His district, which includes parts of New York City and Long Island, is seen as competitive. Democratic New York Governor Kathy Hochul has to call a special election to fill the seat.
Only very technically is she a Democrat. Kathy Hochul is the kind of person who I'd like to point you to when I say that the Democrats will become the new conservative. That punk is a Republican in all but name. She is a conservative. You know what? That's actually a little bit unfair because Republican and conservative no longer mean the same thing. Once upon a time, they were synonymous. Now, no. If you're a Republican, now you're a traitor. You don't believe in democracy. You do believe in fascism. You are a bigot. You are either directly hateful towards minorities or you're just okay with them suffering for your benefit, for your perceived benefit. To that end, I think we actually have a shot of winning this special election, even in Long Island, the very worst part of New York. I think we have a shot. I think the average person now understands what this party is all about. I think the average person who got screwed over by Santos in that in that campaign is now going to look at the next candidate and say, is this the same thing? This looks and feels no different than Santos did. Maybe we won't win. But I'll tell you this, that's more money that the Republican Party's got to spend now. We change that to a Democrat seat, we get a couple more to flip. Truly, I don't think it's likely, but truly, by November of next year, we could have a return to the majority, a slim majority in the House, just by how incompetent Republicans are. Watch and see. I'm saying it now. I know it seems very bold now. Seems insane now. Just watch. Watch how embarrassing it gets in the Trump trials. Watch what happens when people start having sober conversations about traitors in our ranks. Watch what happens when the truth begins to come to light about who Donald Trump is, what he was doing, and what Republicans were letting him do. More on that next. It is not going to be a good look if you live in a purple state, if you are a senator, if you are anybody that has to deal with reality regularly. It's not going to be a good look to be associated with the Republicans. It never should have been. They always have been this despicable. But at least now it's obvious, and we have people like George Santos to thank for that. Bella Lagrissi, hello to you. Kooky abstract dada like they sell at Alpha Beta. I wish I had a set of orangutan babies a barkin' the blues. I could not follow any of that, but I did enjoy it. Like rap from Nelly. My word, I'm going to try my best not to spend the entire time hacking. Doesn't seem very likely. We do, however, have a follow-up. What I was just saying. Probably help if I already had it. Hold up. Oh Well, let me just pull this graphic from my computer. Stand by. Here we go. All the way down. Going to record somewhat less obnoxious, I promise. All right, neato. Well, folks, fact of the matter is, trickle-down economics doesn't work. Republican policies don't work. The longer our country survives, if it is able to survive under a Republican framing, the more clear it is. Link will be in the description. Here is the overlapped. Here's the proof in the form of overlapped charts. Let me explain what this is. In fact, put it ahead of me for a second. That blue line on top, that's the top tax rate. That's how much we charge the richest among us. You'll notice it goes down and down and down and down as time goes on. GDP is that green section on top. That's gross domestic product. That's how much stuff as a country we are producing. That goes up as time goes on. We're getting better and better at making stuff. The red section, that's our national debt. That's how much we have to borrow in order to get by. Now, I will say it's a somewhat deceptive number. Our national debt is a reality, but it's not as dire as Republicans and conservative Democrats would have you believe. But it is going up. It's undeniably consistently going up. Also on the bottom, productivity, that's in the blue line. Steady rise the entire time. A steady rise. Wages, they were rising along with productivity until Reagan in the 80s. And then, truth be told, end of the 70s is when we really saw wages stagnate. What does all this say? Well, as time goes on, the United States is producing more. Specifically, United States workers are producing a lot more. And yet, for some reason, our debt is going up. Even though our productivity is going up and our wages, the pay for that work, is going down, the U.S. is in more and more debt. Why is that? It's because of that gray background monster in the bottom. It's the income of the richest among us. That is where it's all going. Notice it is almost identical to the national debt. They're stealing from America. Look at the productivity. They're stealing from your work. Your wages should have, if not for Reagan and the rest of the Republicans, your wages should have matched that productivity line. You should be making almost twice as much as you are now. And inflation would have been fought because the income of the top 1% never should have changed. Should have stayed at a point where it dipped below what your wages were, so that when you divide up all the 1%, they actually don't have more than hundreds of other people that work for them. That's where we should be. But we got sold on a concept called trickle-down economics in the 80s. The idea that if you give all the breaks to the rich, that money will trickle down to you for some reason. There it is, gang. I'm going to put the link in the description. Just show this to people who for some reason are still operating under the belief that Republicans know anything about economics, or more to the point, care at all about them, their families, any other human beings other than themselves. They don't. They don't like you. They prefer you to be suffering. When they hear that your parents had to skip medication because they couldn't afford it, that makes them happy. They think, good. Peasants are suffering. That's what I'm hearing. Peasants are born to suffer. That's what they think. They think they are your masters. Do not let other people walk around with the impression that they are anything other than that. This needs to be the year we get rid of Republicans. That graph is why. They're killing us. PNC Bio. Every government runs on debt, as does every major business. Debt is only a problem when you can't service it. Yeah. I think that's incredibly well put. It's not... I don't think every time somebody says, like, oh, the debt is out of control, I don't think they're just lying every time. But I do think they are exaggerating nearly to the point of uselessness. Because you're right, we require some debt to function normally. PNC Bio, the bourgeoisie bastards are stealing from us. Yes. Every ever-changing Sands of Time says, what does everyone think of BLM supporting Trump? So weird that I don't believe it. I have a lot of problems with the organizers of BLM. I think they don't manage people's energy well, but I don't think that they would be the leadership of the actual organization BLM would support Trump. I just don't think that happened. But hey, if I'm wrong, I want to know it. BLM Trump support. Black Lives Matter, yeah, distances itself from activists' endorsement of Trump. BLM slams advocates' Trump endorsement as publicity stunt. Yeah, so it was one person who was claiming to be BLM. It was not the leadership of the actual organization. PNC Bio, it amazes me that they still trot out trickle down. It's been disproved how many times? Yeah, they're trying not to, and we should make sure that whenever they rename it and bring it out again, we remind them what it is that they're talking about. Oh, you're describing trickle-down economics, that pyramid scheme. PNC Bio, look at any graph. If you make under $500,000 a year, has anything good happened to you since the 80s? Yeah, exactly. No, they have not. Ever-changing Sands of Time, I say just give massive handouts to all disenfranchised persons. Yeah, truly. I mean, it is that simple. We ran this experiment. When you give money to banks, that money disappears. It literally goes into the bank accounts of billionaires, and it stays there. It's Frank from Always Sunny getting a sports car. Not even that. At least that's spending the money. No, it's a waste. It allows these people to make gambles but not have to suffer the consequences. So they're not really making gambles. They're just thieving. But if you give money to us, hand out $2,000 checks to people, the economy recovers immediately. That money gets spent pretty much immediately. The economy suddenly is flourishing. And the only thing that hurts it is when those checks dry up. That's how poor the American people are right now. That when they get a check from the government, they spend it entirely and immediately. So, yes, the government should just keep cutting them checks until that stops happening, until they notice it's going into the American people's savings account. And even then, just keep them going. Why not? See how long we can do it. And if we find that we run out of money to do that, well, then the American people have put money in their savings account. It's literally that simple. It does not take an advanced understanding of economics, and I know this because I understand it. We lifted millions of people out of poverty overnight like this. We could do it again. We simply have allowed Republicans to convince us not to. Bella Lagrisi, even if they're not in Israel or Ukraine, let me jump up. I say just give massive handouts to disenfranchised person. I don't know the context that you're talking about there. PNC Bio, it's a common misunderstanding. Conservative constantly confuse government debt management with household debt management. Yeah, intentionally. Constantly and intentionally, yes. Oh, yes, Pinker Bell, call a nail on it exactly. The expanded child tax credit was so important, and when it lapsed, it really hurt so many families. I would like to see Joe Biden running on making that permanent. I think we could get him to. That might be a project for us over the next couple of months. If we just put it out in the ether, if we literally just start talking about it, I have noticed people you would think have hundreds of degrees of separations from our conversations wind up having these conversations after all. Because you, gentle listeners, are the audiences of the Majority Report and MSNBC and all the other places that do eventually reach the ears of people that make decisions. I learned from Fox and Trump. Turns out the president does watch TV. And because Trump was unsubtle about it, gave up the game for everyone. It's as simple as getting it talked about on a big enough platform. To get politicians talking about it, to get the American people considering it. Reinstate the child tax credit. You know who will vote for you if you say you're going to do that? Everybody that received it. Every single one of them will vote for that to come back. Why? Because they don't want their kids to starve, and their kids are currently starving. Sucks that between now and 2024, and frankly, when it passes again, if it passes again, that we have to just let those kids starve. But we've already chosen to do that. You want a lot of votes. Just say you're going to make that permanent. Modern America requires a New Deal. Got one more for you, folks. This is one that I want to file under I feel a little bit bad for laughing at. So I'm going to probably not laugh. Time. I did when I first read it. Thought you should know. But it happened. And it paints a picture of who these people talk about it. I'm, of course, going to talk about Ron DeSantis. As you well know, he had a giant snafu recently. No, I'm not talking about his disastrous debate with Gavin Newsom. Truth be told, I didn't take it as being that disastrous. I've seen the lefty shows talking about it today. I saw Brian Tyler with you guys. I saw Brian Tyler Cohen talking about it last night, and from a left perspective, I agree with everything they said. But from the perspective of the kind of folks that already had a Fox News subscription, it looked like a nonsense waste of time. No, I'm talking about DeSantis letting a guy die outside of his office. Oh, Republicans are dropping left and right. No, I'm not exaggerating. I'm just assuming nobody else has heard of this because we live in bizarre times. Florida state official lay collapsed for 24 minutes outside DeSantis' office. This is from Richard Luscombe at The Guardian. Ron DeSantis' chief elections fraud official collapsed after abruptly leaving a contentious meeting in the Florida governor's office, then lay dead or dying for almost half an hour in the hallway outside until he was found, an investigation published on Monday has revealed. Remember that for a moment. This is an investigation from a while back. It just concluded now. It's been going on for a while. Ron DeSantis' chief elections fraud official collapsed after leaving a contentious meeting. That's how hard these motherfuckers are trying to cheat. They're killing each other over it. Gave him a heart attack, seems like. Let's find out. Previously unreported details of the September 2022 death of Peter Antonacci. In the Tallahassee Capitol building appeared on the website of the Florida Bulldog, an independent online watchdog of the state's politics and government. The outlet, acting on a tip-off that Antonacci, 74, died after an argument with DeSantis, submitted a public information records request to obtain redacted documents from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. We should be concerned that these documents were redacted. Concerned, and we should act. After 2020, the 2024 election comes and goes, and theoretically, let's assume we win. One of the things on our to-do list, I'm trying very hard to ignore that advertisement for a sweater I want because it looks cool. One of the things we should do, overhaul law enforcement. We truly need to get rid of the corruption we have in our police force. This casual hiding of information from the public is a problem, and it should itself be subject to criminal punishment. I want to see the sheriffs that do this kind of stuff spend some time in jail themselves, and of course lose their ability to enforce the law for life. None of the 17 pages which the Bulldog released online confirmed that DeSantis was actually present at the meeting in a conference room at his own office, attended by, among others, Florida's Secretary of State James Byrd and Mark Glass, the FDLE commissioner. We should ask him that. We should make this story popular, and you should ask you're in Florida, local news agencies to ask that to follow up on this. Hey, Ron DeSantis, were you in that meeting that killed a guy? But they did reveal other details that were until now not publicly disclosed, including that Antonacci died after a heated meeting in the governor's office rather than generically at work in the Capitol building, as first stated, and that he lay undiscovered for 24 minutes after he collapsed in the hallway immediately outside. During the meeting, the purpose of which was redacted from the papers, Antonacci became agitated and frustrated at various times, witnesses said. Yeah, he got so mad he had a heart attack. The Bulldog does not allege criminal wrongdoing by any part, and the documents paint a picture of frantic efforts to revive Antonacci, who had a history of cardiac problems once he was finally found. Its report, however, highlights the veil of secrecy that was thrown over the incident and its aftermath, including where it took place, who was present, and why Antonacci might have become upset or angry during the meeting. The redactions on the paperwork hide the identities of all of the 10 to 15 people reported to be present, while still images and video of the episode are withheld entirely. Did we perhaps have Ron DeSantis in his gigantic idiot shoes standing around going, "We'll get him out of here. Let's drag him out back"? Look, I can't be seen with a corpse. I want to see him doing a little Floridian freak out. Glass and the FDLE General Counsel Ryan Newman attempted to revive Antonacci using CPR and an automated external defibrillator. I'm going to assume it wasn't working because this is a Florida government building. Until paramedics arrived, the documents say, but the device could not produce a shock. Antonacci, a former election supervisor. I should not laugh at that. Antonacci, a former election supervisor in Florida's Broward County, great place, was DeSantis' personal pick to lead a controversial new state office of election crimes and security. In other words, he wants to rig Florida elections. And this guy was realizing, look at the evil I've got to do and pretend like I'm not going against the Constitution. I'm going to assume that's true and leave it to DeSantis and his brown shirt goons to prove otherwise, because he is a filthy fascist liar. And we're past the point of giving him the benefit of the doubt on anything. If he's got a problem with what I say about him, like, for example, Ron DeSantis killed Antonacci, he can sue me, and we can have discovery in court about it. But I have reason to believe Ron DeSantis killed this guy, at a minimum, because he did not keep the office where he was having this meeting with properly functioning emergency equipment. He failed to do that. And I think, my opinion, is that he bears responsibility for this man's death. Sounds like we lost someone that we shouldn't mind losing at all. But that is what appears to have happened. External defibrillator, I believe, ultimately, was Ron DeSantis' responsibility. It's his job to put people in charge of the government, and he fucked up. On election night that year, the governor praised Florida's safe and secure voting mechanism as an example for the nation, but quickly adopted the view that a crackdown was needed after Donald Trump falsely insisted his defeat to Joe Biden was a result of electoral fraud. The giant baby couldn't lose graciously, and now 40 million Americans are acting like psychopaths because they're just such whiny little losers. An obedient Republican supermajority in the Florida legislature rubber-stamped DeSantis' multi-million-dollar request for a team of electoral fraud investigators who will all do their best to lie. He's spending millions of dollars to lie. But judges have since been largely dismissive of the prosecutions of citizens who voted after the state indicated they were eligible to do so. They harassed these citizens and should suffer criminal punishment for their harassment. DeSantis had insisted the voters, mostly ex-felons who believed their voting rights had been restored by the approval of a state ballot initiative and who received voter registration cards, were sent voter registration cards from the state. The state gave them reason to believe that they were allowed to vote. We're gonna pay the price. A succession of Republican state officials, including Byrd and Ashley Moody, the Florida Attorney General, lauded Antonacci on his taxpayer-funded appointment in 2022 to clamp down on election fraud that did not, by any discernible measure, exist in the state. Clowns, all of them. Antonacci's cause of death was recorded by an emergency room physician at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital as cardiac failure from a heart attack. No autopsy took place because they are not interested in the truth. He was praised at his funeral as a decades-long public servant of Florida, doing his best to make life worse for all, having served the state in numerous roles, including Deputy Attorney General and General Counsel to DeSantis' predecessor, Rick, I'm a fucking monster, Scott. Guardian has reached out to DeSantis' office for comment, but they are cowards, so refused to comment. I mean, you got to appreciate how wacky the shenanigans are with these people. Don't have a lot to add other than I'm fully and firmly of the belief that DeSantis killed this guy, either through incompetence or he was just so unpleasant to be around that the guy had a heart attack from having to be in a room with Ron DeSantis. Hey, sue me, pal. Let's find out if he was even there. Discovery is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I'm taking advantage of the fact that you can't squeeze. What can he get out of me if he sues me for my entire net worth? A Canadian quarter. Come and get it, punk. Tinkerbell, nope, not mad. I don't like that he died, obviously, but this being a huge story just reminds me of all the people that died from working in the summer heat this year. That's what I get mad about. Yeah. Adding to that, Pinkerbell saying earlier, I get so furious when I hear about people dying at work, selling their last moments to a faceless capitalist machine that won't even notice them on the floor for half an hour. But this guy, nope, not mad. I don't like that he died, obviously, but this being a huge story just reminds me of all the people that died from working in the summer heat this year. That's what I get mad about. Hell yes. Well put. Pink also saying, I enjoy that kind of political kayfabe, but I walked away from the debate thinking, who cares? Yeah. Bella Lagrisi, nothing but the dead and dying back in my little town. Oof. Sorry to hear that. Bella Lagrisi also saying, what lies are going for £1 these days? Yeah. Look, this actually isn't a big story. This story came out before the DeSantis debate. Very few people are even paying attention to this. I think it's worth looking at because even though I despise this guy who died and everything he stands for and what he spent his life trying to do and what he literally died being a part of, we cannot just have an official dying in a state house and then lying on the floor for 24 minutes. In what world can you lie down on the floor in any state's state house and have no one come across you for 24 minutes? What is going on? Further, I know I was being cheeky about it, but the fact that the AED machine did not have a charge is an F-up. It's a more understandable one. I do get how that happens. Those things are supposed to be replaced every I think it's every 6 months for a reason. But the fact that they weren't speaks to the way this guy runs a government. The way Republicans run government. Oh, that thing? That device? Put Bob in charge of it. Bob is in charge now of the building. Bob looks at that and says, how much do we have to pay people to come by and replace them? It's fine. Let's just say we did. We'll say we paid for it out of the petty cash. Now divide up the petty cash and let's all go to the bar. 3 years later, try to use that device. Click. Nothing. Hope you all enjoyed the drinks. Hope you all enjoyed the jet skis you bought with the money you swindled from the state government. Now a man's dead. That's what happens. If you live in Florida Ask your local news agency to ask people about this. Get answers to these questions. Who was in charge of that AED device? Was this Antonacci fella dead when he hit the ground, or did he die in that 24-minute gap? What did he die of? Truly. Was Ron DeSantis there, or was he not? Ask for those questions to be answered so that your fellows have a chance to see what an irresponsible prick this guy is. He's an extraordinarily irresponsible prick. That's the answer. They should see that. Oh, gang. We're going to have more news at the top of the hour, but let me rest my pipes for just a moment. In the meantime, we've got some more jams. Let me look at this. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, it's time. We're going to do some Bryce Green, I think. This is Danger by Bryce Green. I'll see you at the top of the hour with more news.
Ain't been no competition for the player. Working all day long, this repetition got my weight up. Pumping like a piston, I can hear him yelling, wait up. Whole world I've been lifting, plot is thickening, I stay up. Don't know what it cost me. Now I'm chilling in the penthouse, living lofty. Pray before you cross me. Shut up while I'm talking. While I run up stocks, you all on my IG stalking. Man, get out my face. Keep on stepping to a king, yo, you bound to catch a fin. Hope you live to see tomorrow. It ain't had to be that way. Go ahead and try to plead your case. I'm just trying to feed a face. Got my family and my crew. I'm just trying to keep it straight. Name your price and we inflated. We came here from out of state. Landlord and this eviction got you feeling out of place. Way that was poverty stricken, now I kick it with the greats. Call it what you wanna call it, but I know it's fake. I really am a diamond from the dirt. It was really perfect timing in a blur. Wrote the record in the curse. Off the record I had no one to console me when it hurts. For what it's worth, the glass is half full. I'm foolish, guess you were right. Doubted my whole life, but that all changes tonight. The price is going up, it ain't what it was in the past. I see you get your last laugh. You in danger, danger, danger. Got revenge in my eyes, nah, you in danger, danger, danger. I'll get even when I beat the odds. You in danger, danger, danger. Man, come on, it ain't no surprise. Hard to look me in the eyes when I feel anger. Who am I? Danger. Got the recipe, ain't really hard to re-up. Ay. Heroes in my city, yeah, they need us. They stop calling me soon as I put my feet up. They all know I'm dangerous, I'm always down to tee up. Like a party out in Boston, all that talking is exhausting. I've been swimming in my profits, better come to me with caution. Pity you, so I don't mind you. You had to front the city just so they could get behind you. Man, that's a shit. I feel more and more strange when I see what I became. All this power, all the money, guess it come with all the fame. When I look back in the mirror, I'm the only one to blame. What a shame, put my blood, sweat, and tears all in the game. Too much love for my city, I'm just here to play my part. Way too many lost souls who just don't know where to start. Find my way out through the art, I'll do whatever it takes. Call it what you wanna call it, but I know it's fake. I really am a diamond from the dirt. It was really perfect timing in a blur. Wrote the record in the curse. Off the record I had no one to console me when it hurts. For what it's worth, the glass is half full. I'm foolish, guess you were right. Doubted my whole life, but that all changes tonight. The price is going up, it ain't what it was in the past. I see you get your last laugh. You in danger, danger, danger. Got revenge in my eyes, nah, you in danger, danger, danger. I'll get even when I beat the odds. You in danger, danger, danger. Man, come on, it ain't no surprise. Hard to look me in the eyes when I feel anger. Who am I? Danger, dangerous, dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous. Who am I?
all the worth is where my bones now lay. But the earth keeps sinking deeper and I can't escape. I'm just another soul trying to be saved. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. I'm just another soul trying to be saved. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. Love and understanding and accepted your ways from the corners of the earth. Now where you scream my name, I'm just beginning to regret you and my ways. 'Cause I'm just too scared now, too goddamn scared to change. I'm just another soul trying to be saved. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. I'm just another soul trying to be saved. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. I'm just another soul trying to be saved. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. I'm just another soul trying to be saved. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. This love's gonna carry me to my grave. Don't always do what I should. I'd be better if I thought I could. I'm a sucker for adrenaline, every villain is. Everybody trying to change my ways, but I live just to see you break. I'm a sucker for adrenaline, every villain is. You take the high road, I'll take the low. Everyone lies cause everyone knows. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Oh, a little bit bad. Feels good to be a little bit bad. I'll admit I'm a little bit wicked. I belong in the grave I'm digging. I live like a villain lives. I come alive when I lose control. Everyone lies just to ease their soul. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Oh, a little bit bad. Baby, we're all monsters, just afraid to show our colors. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Feels good to be, feels good to be, feels good to be a little bit bad. Oh, a little bit bad. Feels good to be a little bit bad. my trust and I gave you everything that you need. But you only told me lies and you made me realize that, babe, you ain't no good for me. I can't be with you, you can't be true. And I know just what I got to do. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Woo-hoo. Well, you're begging me to stay, but I'm going my own way, and the skies ain't looking cloudy or gray. I won't even roll the dice so that you can't play me twice, no babe. Who do you think I am? Well, I'm gonna take my own road, and I'm sorry, baby, you can't go. Gotta hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gotta hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Well, I know you say you're sorry and that you do right, but babe, who do you take me for? Yes, I see you crying, but before those tears are drying, baby, I'm headed for that door. Gonna hit the ground running, baby, I'm running, baby, I'm running, 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 running. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gonna hit the ground running, running, running just as fast as I can. Gonna hit the ground running. Woo-hoo. Oh, running, baby, baby, running, running now. Woo-hoo. Running just as fast as I'm running, just as fast as I can.
I don't care what people say, tomorrow is too far away. We can leave and they can stay, cause I for one am never gonna change. Ever since I was a kid, knobby knees and lots of lip, I found it hard to listen when they told me to be quiet and to wait. I think they'd agree that's just not possible for me. I wanna shout, I wanna scream, I wanna dance, I wanna sing. I think you are just like me. Let's go see what we can see and sing a little louder if we want.
Gotta hit that button with a little more oomph. The time is nearly 8 o'clock. At the top of the hour, we are discussing news and politics in the United States, around the world. You're listening to WYCD Wicked, that stands for What You Can Do. Gotta tell you, I want to talk about this news. I'm excited to talk about this news, but we have got 8 o'clock now. We have got some of the best music lined up. I'm excited for it. But first, you ought to know. You ought to know who the real villains are, and we have the graphs to prove it. That's right. Do recall that the rule with Republicans is everything they say about other people is just a confession about what they've been up to. If you had to guess, what would you say is the number one thing that Republicans accuse other people of doing? I mean, broadly speaking, of all the random, insane things they seem to accuse people of doing, what do they always go back to? They do it every time the gays are in the media, are a topic of conversation. They try to saddle Democrats with this label. What is it? That's right. Diddlers. They accuse them of being diddlers. Wait a minute. A study, you say? Child abuse versus political leaning. I'm going to scroll. Look at how freaking confusing these graphs are. I'm just going to scroll down to the operative word. If a county had a higher proportion of Trump voters than Biden voters, there were generally higher reports of child abuse. Link will be in the description, folks. It's a graph that measures which counties voted for who and how much child abuse was in each county. Also, bear in mind that all of the Republican counties made it more difficult to report child abuse. So this graph, this study, which concludes that a higher proportion of Trump voters means a higher likelihood of reports of child abuse. That was done despite the fact that Republicans are less likely to report child abuse in any capacity at all. Just thought you should bring that to your Republican voting acquaintances' attention. They're diddlers. We already knew that they were con artists. We already knew that they were thieves. We already knew that they were traitors. We already know that they're bigots. But let's add to that list, because we have the facts to back it up, they are also child abusers. Why would anyone at all, want to be associated with Republicans? I think you'll find, by the by, that if you go around the world, any conservative enclave will have the same phenomenon happening. If you are a conservative on Earth in 2023 and you want things to be the way they have been, you're not interested in human suffering ending. You want it to continue. That's your deal. Not a surprise to find that these people get their thrills from ruining children's lives. That's who they are. Just thought I should make you aware of it so you can make your friends and your family and your coworkers aware of it as well. Again, according to the study linked in the description, Republican voting counties have higher rates of child abuse. Republicans should not be trusted around children. Let's see what the wicked community has to say. Deborah Kempthorne, hi all. I'm always amused when I hear crap going on under DeSantis' rule, as within a short amount of time, there's even more devious deception apparent. Yeah. Bella Lagrissi, I'm in New York, but live in Charlottesville. Oh, cool. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm hacking up a lot. I was reading your chat earlier, Bella, that it's that it was odd that a Florida medical examiner, Florida Bulldog, did not identify. It said it was unusual that no autopsy was performed, especially given the context you provided, and I thank you for this one. An autopsy was done when Governor Lawton Chiles died of a heart arrhythmia at the governor's mansion in 1998. Yeah, it should be. This is not like... It's the people's business. It's the same reason that a president doesn't have the right to refuse the Secret Service. Because it's when you take that job, when you enter into that building on official business, it's the people's business. you and me, have a right to know without a shadow of a doubt what happened to that person. It seems... I understand that it seems silly, but it is important. It's a fundamental... It speaks to a fundamental belief about how government should work. Let me tell you something. And I'll admit this is maybe something that I will evolve on, and you guys might evolve me on it. But I am the more I look at this, and when I'm honest with myself, I'm a bit of an authoritarian. Except the authority that I believe should be pretty close to unquestioned is the people. I mean, I honestly feel like if you sign up for a government job, well, not a government job, but if you sign up for a position of leadership in government, say, you and me should have the right to stop. Our rights should stop just short of kicking in their door in the night and shining a flashlight on their face to make sure that they're asleep when they said they were. I don't think you can go to the people who collectively are responsible for the existence of nuclear missiles, for example, and say things like, just trust me. Oh, no, that guy that died in my office, just trust me. It was nothing. Don't worry about it. These are not don't worry about it jobs. These are you have to have a full report, signed, documented, stamped 3 times. The full gamut jobs. And I don't like any time a politician tries to get away with hiding information from us, even if it's embarrassing. I think it was wrong that Bill Clinton was pursued in the way he was with impeachment, given the context, given how we had used impeachment up until that point. But, you know, the basic principle of the thing, if we were willing to hold conservatives to the same standard, yes, lying under oath is hiding information from the people. Yes, the details of your sex life are now public business because you chose, Bill Clinton in the 90s, to involve an intern who was working not for you, for us. Similarly, Ron DeSantis, you can't have a guy die in your office and just pretend like another day, oh, these things happen. We need to know, if only to establish the fact that we have a right to know, because we have a right to know. We have a somewhat, I suppose it's somewhat similar story. Do you guys remember Mike Pence on January 5th, 2021? Y'all remember how this guy was acting? Ooh, you know what? This might be worth. Yeah, we're gonna do a whole thing with it. Stand by. I sure do. Mike Pence on January 5th of 2021 was acting real shady. The reason, one of the many reasons why I don't give this guy any credit for how he acted on the afternoon of January 6th is because he went along with so much of what Trump was doing. Trump was not subtle about the coup. He telegraphed this thing pretty blatantly. And in doing so, he gave every Republican an opportunity to stand up and say, I will not support this. I do not support this. This guy needs to go. In fact, he should go now. Remember that Trump said that there was cheating in the Emmy nomination process, or the Emmy award process, when The Apprentice didn't win an Emmy. He said there was cheating in the primaries in 2015 when he didn't win Iowa. Maybe it was Ohio, I don't remember. He said there was cheating in 2015 when he didn't win the popular vote. So when he was saying there was cheating in 2020, because he is a loser, Republicans should have stood up en masse, especially Mike Pence, who was pitching himself as a by-the-book conservative. Well, here's Chris Hayes showing us why anybody who has not given praise to Mike Pence was correct. That's not unique to me. That's literally everybody who knows Mike Pence or knows of him.
New York, I'm Chris Hayes. Just weeks from now, voters will cast the...
Related note, Mehdi Hassan got fired from MSNBC. That sucks. If you see Mehdi Hassan making the rounds online, I would recommend, it's occurring to me now, I would recommend giving a thumbs up to whatever he's in so that they can see they have lost a popular figure.
First ballots in, believe it or not, the 2024 primary presidential elections. In less than a year, the whole country will vote again, not only on who will be the next president of these United States, but most likely on whether to continue the American democratic experiment, at least in its current form. This coming year will also bring at least one trial of the Republican frontrunner and former President Donald Trump, the most important of the 91 felony charges against him, the federal elections case, which is now set to go before a judge in March. And that case serves as a crucial reminder of just how serious the man was about overturning American democracy on January 6th, how close he came to succeeding, and how much he wants to do it again. And today, we've got new information about the attempted coup. Now, on its own, this detail, which I'm about to relay to you, it might seem small or insignificant, but it actually sheds dramatic light on one of the most enduring mysteries from January 6th and the run-up to it. But more importantly, it suggests how prepared the entirety of the Republican Party might have been to go along with Trump's plot if things went.
Remember, they are greedy cowards. If they think they can get away with something, then they'll do it. That's the greed part. The coward part is the if they think they can get away with it. They won't take a risk to try to do something. But understand, right or wrong doesn't factor in. It's not a factor. It's no different with Mike Pence. No different with Mitch McConnell. It's no different with any of them. They do what they think they can get away with. That is the only thing that approaches morality that they have. I'm being generous when I say that Republicans are on the child development portion of Kohlberg's theory of moral development. This is assuming, of course, that they have any morality at all. In truth, I don't think Republican politicians have any morality. I think Republican voters do have some. I think they have a childlike morality. But I just want to make one thing clear. That picture on screen right now, just above Trump Against America there, with the Capitol building framed in a gallows and a Trump and skull and crossbones off to the side. That, I think, sums up who Trump is perfectly and what he has in store for America if we allow him or any Republican ever again to be in power. We need to end this party forever, not just in our generation. This year, in the next 365 days, the upcoming election needs to be the end of the Republican Party because they are traitors. They have revealed that. We can pretend like they haven't revealed it, and we will be paid for doing so in a second and probably successful attempt to do what you see on screen above the handsome gentleman right now. Chris, take it home.
Went in that direction. Now, as part of the investigation into the attempt to overturn the 2020 election, Special Counsel Jack Smith has been speaking with key players as they prepare their case in court, and that includes former Vice President Mike Pence. Pence, of course, famously eschewing talking to the January 6th committee. He's been talking to Smith. And according to a new ABC News report, Smith's team has pressed Pence on all sorts of questions, even something so granular as the placement of a comma in his book. When recounting a phone call with Trump on Christmas Day 2020, Pence wrote in his book that he told Trump, and I quote, "You know, I don't think I have the authority to change the outcome of the election on January 6th. But Pence allegedly told Smith's investigators that comma should have never been placed there. He actually meant to write that he admonished Trump, "You know I don't have the authority to change the outcome," suggesting Trump was well aware of the limitations of Pence's authority. The special counsel's investigators also pressed Pence on personal notes he took after meetings with Trump. One of those notes, written several days before Pence was due to preside over the certification of the electoral votes in Congress on January 6th, reveals that Pence momentarily decided that he would skip the proceedings on January 6th, where he was going to preside, altogether. These are notes after meetings with Trump, all right? The then vice president wrote, quote, "Not feeling like I should attend electoral count. Too many questions, too many doubts, too hurtful to my friend. Therefore, I'm not going to participate in certification of election." Now, Mike Pence, I think, is smart enough to know that Donald Trump is not his friend. And again, to his credit, he did, of course, decide in the end to show up and fulfill his constitutional obligation.
I will acknowledge that this is merely speculation. I am telling you now that the following is me speculating. I think those are his notes for what he would have said to the American people. He was trying to suss out, how will I pitch my part in this coup? I think even in his notes, he was trying to leave wiggle room. Like, what if the coup fails? What will I say to the prosecutors? Well, I'll say my friend was my wife. Too hurtful to my friend. I was trying to do a message to the people so they'd understand that, well, gosh, I just couldn't let mother get attacked by Trumpists. Something like that. Obviously, that draft didn't make it because he ended up realizing this is insane. Trump is insane. I'm hanging out with an insane guy being asked to do insane things. I can't go through with it. We should be concerned, though. I think those of us watching now probably already had the thought that if this guy thought he could get away with it, he would have. It matters that it's known now. It matters that there is evidence of this now. It's like if a kid is speeding down a country road, going 90 miles an hour in a 45 mile an hour zone. If a cop observes it or a cop doesn't, it matters because it has implications about what the cop will do. If the cop doesn't pull that kid over, they bear some responsibility for the crash that happens around the bend. If a cop hears about a kid driving real fast down a road, and they pull off on the shoulder and they wait, and the kid drives by and they're going the speed limit, that's fine. The kid drives by and they're speeding and they don't do anything. They're endorsing that speeding. Now we know. We're the cop. Now we know. Now we have evidence for what this guy was trying to do. The next time he's in front of cameras, if you find out it's going to be in your neck of the woods, ask your news stations to ask about this. I mean, he's sort of a non-entity now. He already dropped out of the next race. He's probably out of politics for good. Nonetheless, it should be part of the conversation. It should be understood that Republicans were willing to go along with the coup. They are a party of disloyal mother effers. They need to be seen as that. They need to be addressed as that. They need to be treated like that. They are treacherous, criminal scum. And we cannot mince words about this. Anybody saying they still support Republicans, nothing they have to say for their explanation is good enough. Except none. If they want to support conservatives, there's plenty of Democrats who are conservatives, and I think they are evil. But there's not evidence of direct crimes. There's not scheming to end democracy in the United States. Not usually. The Republican Party should not be treated in any conversation like a reasonable option for someone to take. It's past that. Here's why.
But those notes indicated there was at least a moment when he was planning to not show up. The reason this is such an arresting detail there in black and white, apparently, reportedly, in the notes from Pence himself that the investigators saw, the reason it's such an arresting detail is because it connects to an unexplained mystery of what the man underneath him in the chain of command, the president pro tempore, knew ahead of January 6th. Okay? At the time, Republican Chuck Grassley of Iowa, that man you see there, was the second highest ranking official in the Senate after Vice President Mike Pence. He was next in line to preside over that crucial gathering on January 6th for the certification of electoral votes if Pence was not there. And the day before, seemingly kind of out of nowhere, on January 5th, Senator Grassley told reporters that that is exactly what was going to happen. I quote him here. If the vice president isn't there and we don't expect him to be there, I will be presiding over the Senate. I remember when he said that on January 5th. A lot of people were surprised. It raised a lot of red flags. I mean, there were already concerns swirling about members of Congress objecting to the electoral vote in both houses. There was a bunch of House members and senators. And then what Mike Pence would do with those objections and whether he would help execute the coup or stand against it.
Scott Ward, member for 4 months. Thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciate it. It makes this possible. It makes freeze framing on Chris Hayes like that possible. Thank you. All right, let's be kind to this dapper gentleman.
When Chuck Grassley said that to reporters on January 5th, it made it sound like Mike Pence had decided that he would not participate at all, that he would not stand in the way of the coup going forward. He would step aside and let Chuck Grassley, an ardent defender of Trump, play that role. Obviously, that was an alarming and damning proposition. Now, Grassley's team quickly walked that back, calling it a misinterpretation. They said they were talking about some other portion of the proceedings and saying the Vice President Pence was expected to preside the next day. So, again, a weird little footnote in this entire drama. Grassley's initial statement just left hanging there. Tantalizing question. Did he misspeak, like they said, or was there some plan in place behind the scenes in which Pence decided at some point that he was going to sidestep his duty and let someone else preside over January 6th, presumably someone who would go along with the coup? And did someone inform Chuck Grassley about Mike Pence making such a decision that he was not going to be there? And for nearly 3 years, we've had no concrete evidence supporting that damning possibility. But now we do from Mike Pence himself. I mean, his own contemporaneous notes obtained by special counsel Jack Smith and his testimony Smith's team prove Pence had decided to leave the certification of the votes in Grassley's hands on January 6th. And those notes are evidence suggesting that Grassley may very well not have been mistaken. Instead, he was telling the honest truth about what he knew, that he had been briefed or told about this decision. Again, we still don't know definitively. There's no, actual smoking gun here. what we do now know definitively, and this is from the January 6th committee, is that Trump's own coup lawyers wrote out memos imagining a scenario in which Grassley presided. We know that. We know that Pence himself came to a decision, apparently after a meeting with Trump, that he would recuse himself and allow Grassley to do it, and memorialize that in notes. And we have Grassley telling reporters that Pence wasn't going to be there and he was planning on presiding. I mean, Grassley still denies he had any idea whatsoever any of the machinations. And yes, this is about a detail about something that happened or nearly happened nearly 3 years ago. It didn't end up happening. But it's so relevant and important in this moment as we look ahead. Again, focus here as we come down the barrel this year. Because it reveals a key lesson from the Trump era. Chuck Grassley is part of the establishment. He's not one of the colorful pro-coup characters like Rudy Giuliani or Sidney Powell or the Overstock guy. He did not vote to overturn the election on that fateful day when, after the violent mob sicked the Capitol, they all came back into the chamber and had to vote about whether they're going to go along with the mob. He didn't vote for it. In the end, though, Chuck Grassley and the rest of the Republican establishment will go along with just about anything if they see the wind is blowing that way. I mean, no one has stated that more clearly than Grassley himself, saying it straight up, explaining why he accepted Donald Trump's endorsement in October of 2021, after the coup.
I was born at night, but not last night. So if I didn't accept the endorsement of a person that's got 91% of the Republican voters in Iowa, I wouldn't be too smart. I'm smart enough to accept that endorsement.
Truly one of the most almost comically honest statements I've heard from a politician. Like,
ever. Agreed. Yeah, that's it right there, isn't it? Did you hear that doublespeak? Just after a coup. I'd be crazy if I didn't accept his nomination. Yeah, you'd have courage. You'd have leadership. You'd have some sense of morality. You'd have maybe some of what it takes to deserve to have the job that you have, Chuck Grassley, but you don't. You don't have any of that. All you have is the nomination recommendation from a traitor. You have the endorsement of a traitor. Because Chuck Grassley is himself a traitor. All Republicans are opportunist thieves. We should be very clear with everyone we talk to about who these people are. It is not acceptable to say you support Republicans for any reason. Our job is to close the Overton window on that whole party. Their era must end. We must end it. More tunes coming up. First, let's see what the Wicked community has to say. Scott Ward with the very kind $5. Thank you. MAGA Mike is probably going to be Trump's VP. That would be amazing. He will attract the evangelicals. Unlike Mike Pence, he's not too honest. I'm not prophesying, just a hunch. I appreciate that. Groove Dragon, Youth to the Booth, 2024. Oh, I like that. After Joe, the boomers have got to go. Yeah. Sorry, but yeah. I can't, with the exception of Bernie, I can't think of too many that, frankly, too many people who are in power currently that deserve to stay there. This should become our game. This has become our hobby. For much of us, it should become our trade. It's getting late, folks, but I'm still planning on how specifically I will be professionally involved in this upcoming election cycle. I will be, at a minimum, volunteering my time for Rashida Tlaib's campaign. her efforts. But man, the reason we have the conservatives we have now are because first they made this part of their culture. They made getting involved part of their culture. And through, my hope is through shows like this, but also the Valley Labor Report, the Majority Report, the Letter Hack, Environmental Coffee House, through the gang. Andrea Rovinsky, through the gang. We will have people develop such an interest that they also get involved, that it seems less scary to get involved. Let me know, by the by, what you would like to see content-wise that would convince you to run for office or to work on a campaign. Would you like me to interview a first-timer? Would you like me to interview a seasoned campaign professional? Would you like me to interview somebody who's been in local politics for a long time? Would you like me to interview somebody on a school board? Let me know. If you have no particular interest or no particular thing you want looked at, I'll look at all of it. Why not? Our time is here. This government that has been largely abandoned by the decent folks of the world, it has potential to do good. It's done almost nothing but evil. But it has potential to do good. We need to take control of it, however. We need to be involved. Otherwise, we leave it to the Chuck Grassleys and the Mike Pences of the world. And as we have seen, we can no longer endure that. If you need some energy, I don't blame you. I do as well. That's why we have the Fine Tunes brought to us by audio. I'll tell you what, coming up, we've got 3, yikes, there we go. We have 3. Oh no, much more than that. We have a bunch of my favorite songs, 3 of my favorite artists, including Rocco with a song called Lyle. We're going to get to that in a moment, but first, where the hell is it? But first, I must scroll down. Here we are. Oh, what the heck? We're just started with Lyle. This is Rocco with Lyle, a fucking bop.
Walking down the road, people stare at me. I don't know, man, my skin feels green. And to an alley at a dead end, walking up the wall as space and time bend. Look to my left and I look to my right. Vision starts to blur, I'm losing my sight. Clocked in, but I'm still clocked out. I tried to whisper while the camera does a shout. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. Sleep inside my own head with a box made out of something. Can't figure out how to get out. Looking through the window, trying to escape. You know it's all but too late. Stuck inside an imaginary world. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I'm seeing through the lies, I'm looking in his eyes, I'm learning to defy what I know. I'm seeing through the lies, I'm looking in his eyes, I'm learning to defy what I know. I thought it was. Maybe it wasn't. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie. I see you, I feel you, I know you're living in a lie.
Even the Levite coming up. Dynamic duo.
Yeah. There's a war going on inside. Just to name a couple, I battle with porn and pride. In a persistent struggle, a reoccurring huddle, a prayer meeting with me and the Holy Spirit. Feeling free, but no, I'm nowhere near it. But thank God for his conviction. The awful part of me that may leave others to suspicion and call me into question. I confess my addiction. Know it's a lethal weapon, may compromise the mission. Being proselytized from this humanistic system. You think about that and tell me just what you envision. You think about crack and how it kept on calling Pookie. Feel that about sin, feel like it's always trying to shoot me. But I help him work his aim to make sure he doesn't miss. I sell him the guns, let him borrow the clips. I set myself up sometimes just so I repent. Keep walking with me, Jesus, you know I need your strength. Oh Lord.
To be honest, many nights I've gotten bored. I killed the beast and willed the beast a million times before. I sew the wound and soon the hills of reels me in a spoon. I lay it down, I'm praying now. Forgot to take this tune, I seem to replay it. Broken records will wreck the message. I'm praying for brighter days, but I can see the storm lessen. My essence formed to a fraud. Talking only blessings, but never address this menage. Too long as mirage from chilling over my eyesight. Wonder how Stevie feel when this mirror will give me chills. Cause all I can see is twilight, no reflection. This civil war, I'm bound to question. Can I kill the lust that I love? Enough with this guessing, man. I'm in a line like Levi. I guess it's in my genes. I've inherited his spirit, is precisely what I mean. It's time to kill the flesh. I got snipers on his depressing. When past is an issue, future tense, but I'm focused on his presence.
Every day I wake, there's a war on. I won't be the one that it ends though. The one true God I'ma call on. Cause he the only one that can save souls. Yeah, brother, I know. Are you ready to go? Yeah, so with this war going on, we gon' fight till the day that we die.
I wasn't always saved, I was once depraved and a slave to my nature. My way to an early grave had been paved. Generations before me, my forefathers seed carried the lost gene, causing me to be formed evil. But even before the tree in the garden was seen as a cause of beef, the Lord in his seed had a scheme to pardon, redeem the fallen, release a call from the demon's claws, and free the lost with the peace of the Father in the peeps of promise. But being honest, I was a pacifist people pleaser, a punk of a peacekeeper, a rug undefeating sneakers, passive aggressive, suppressing wrath and neglecting, addressing acts of offense, never getting mad, it just seeps deeper. The cheap Jesus, animosity's remedy at the cross, enter in the beef and abolish offenses. We as a lost in an enmity with the Father, his enemies, and for knowledge is kin to be getting dropped from his list of thieves. But in between then and me getting clean, sex and hit the screen and triple X and fiend for the sex that you get in dreams. Ain't even since redeemed I can live in and get deceived, and it seems the repentance flees when I seek him and hit my knees. But victory is a promise and he's accomplished it in his slaughter for all my deeds in the dark when my thoughts are weak. Tempted to fall in deep, but I'm walking in on my feet. I don't jog like I'm not competing, the job is an awesome feat.
Every day I wake, there's a war on. I won't be the one that it ends though. The one true God I'ma call on. Cause he the only one that can save souls. Yeah, brother, I know. Are you ready to go? Yeah, so with this war going on, we gon' fight till the day that we die.
Coming up. Next up we have Temptation. Think about it, brother.
Yeah, everybody deals with, and everybody's just different, but I want to talk about just be honest about what goes on in my own head. Yeah. One of the greatest temptations I'm facing right now is getting lazy with my style and saying I ain't appreciating Mike's down. I saw a smaller market, I need a larger target. You know, a broader audience who's spending dollars on this. And as of right now, this temptation for making some crazy statements, complaining, but I know how pride sounds. I'm everybody's favorite, maybe one of the greatest, the peak of every playlist. You'd be a lame to hate this, but the truth is it's foolish to say this. So please bear with my foolishness, cause I've concluded it's stupid to fake it. I Google my name too much, think that my fame is just, but still it ain't enough. I need to make some bucks, but not in the greedy sense. I just wanna appease the IRS and pay off our debts. I don't need to be rich, I'm fighting to be a man, dying to lead the fam, trying to please the fans, writing to feed the lambs, but I feel the pressure to dumb it down. I'm from the underground, but to sell I gotta come with that southern sound. And be fake as a toupee, got me feeling like Lupe. This is not how I do things, I just gotta be true, man, cause I don't do this for the fickle masses. I do this for God, myself, and anyone else who can see the talent. So if you dig it, cool. If you ain't with it, cool. It wasn't meant for you, it's for the kids who do. And I know that I can be an elitist, cause I'm a backpacker, the mad rapper who is being redeemed. It's still in my DNA. As I kill it, I'm being saved. I'm not willing to be enslaved by opinions of people swayed by the radio or the garbage on it. Call it what you want, I'm an artist. I don't care what the hottest song is. I won't be commercialized to please a shirt and tie who's least concerned with God and thinks in terms of profits. But that's the nature of work. The soil that I'm toiling in is big foil and plants since the day of the curse. I'm milking a crazy cow and by my sweaty brow. As long as grace allows, I'm gonna make it bow. Cause in the garden we're given dominion. We lost it in the fall and now in the kingdom we can see its redemption. Call it Imago Day. My thoughts have gone astray. I've got a lot to say, but probably not today. Cause sometimes I'm tempted to make it deep with all the lofty theological jargon when I should say I'm weak. I think if you leave impressed, you'll believe I'm a beast at best, or at least a believer stressed. You'll sleep on the things confessed. Did I mention I like to talk a lot? But confessions are best when they're short, so I probably ought to stop. This isn't a pity rap, though I'm tempted to spit for that. Thanks for giving a listen, Black. This is how I'ma end the track. Say it into this snake, and creation became a place of. And now Adam hates the fact that he's naked, but can't admit his mistake, but instead he's blaming his maker. Cause manifestations of separation, but thankfully his replacement, the savior, came and we're facing. Never gave it, but paved the way for the saints to behave in the craziest situations they can escape the. By his grace through faith in the one who saved them.
Fitting song, given the conversation in the comments. Gang, let me tell you. Just about once per radio stream, I've got to play this song. Why? Because it rocks. This is Lone Wild with Danger Cat.
I'm gonna ride to your cage. Your papa said to steer clear, 'cause I lead to the grave. You better run away, run away.
could never get enough of Danger Cat. Oh, mercy me. Oh, no. Lone Wild, you've had your chance. I can only funk out so much. If you have requests, by all means, drop them in the comments. Lord knows I will jump at the chance to play some Tiger Run or Lone Wild, but let's chill it out just a little bit. This is Free Swim by Sean McVeary.
down in a valley, far away from that silver lining. I was given next to nothing. I had to fight to become something. I gave it all to get where I am. Now I'm on top of the world, living inside a dream. Yeah, I'm everything I always wanted to be. There's no slowing down, I'm moving full speed. I'm the first on
Scarlett Park coming up with Anxious.
You call me a flight risk, try to close my eyelids and let the sound of water fill me from the bottoms up with the sun down. Take a quick look around, I don't recognize your eyes, but I know this. Place me on a pedestal, sex, drugs, rock and roll. I've been trying to climb my way to the top of your heartbeat slowly, hardly even know me, but you hold me closer than a mother with a baby. So don't let go, don't let it show. We all know just how this goes. Don't let it go, don't let it show. We all know just how this goes. Don't let it go, don't let it show. We all know just how this goes. Don't let it go, don't let it show. We all know just how this goes. You call me a flight risk, try to close my eyelids and let the sound of water fill me from the bottoms up with the sun down. Take a quick look around, I don't recognize your eyes. Flash fall fast, hit the ground, not a single sound. Linger on, but I'm on to another round. Thought you knew I'm on the move and nowhere to be found. Thought you knew I'm on the move and nowhere to be found. More of a hip, make a drip with the licks as it rolls off your lips and your hips go down like your expectations. All you need is patience. Why are you so anxious, anxious, anxious? More of a hip, make a drip with the licks as it rolls off your lips and your hips go down like your expectations. All you need is patience. Why are you so anxious, anxious, anxious?
Scarlett Park with Anxious, taking us into 9 o'clock. It is now 9:01. She went above and beyond. Wireless Mike, good to see you. Pinker Bell, still here, delighted to have you. Wicked Foxy Dragon, great to have you on. Donald James X, hello. I'll tell you what, I enjoy these longer streams. I might come on later tonight as well just to play some music and take requests for political commentary if you so desire. I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel, but I do know this. I very much want to catch the end of Here and How. That's coming up at 9:30, I believe, on the Letterhags channel. I'll post the link in the comments for those watching live. It'll be on live chat replay as well, so for those watching through the stream. Before that, though, it's been a little while since we've shown people new streamers, new content, things that are worth watching. I'm trying to develop a bit of a repertoire, a series of streamers who help explain things, and to that end, this person with a good amount of subscribers, quite frankly, and 2 million views on their video, is explaining the basics of what political factions are. I think that's very useful. Let me record this and we'll get right to it. Yeah, this new person is a channel I'm just now seeing. I love their setup. I love their style. It's The Paint Explainer. Here they are with an overview of political ideologies. Very useful video to make. I'm kicking myself for not making it as well. But let's give credit where it's due. The Paint Explainer.
Conservatism, as the name suggests, tries to conserve traditional values. In Western culture, conservatives usually promote the nuclear family, organized religion, the military, and property rights. Liberalism. Liberalism is usually cited as the dominant ideology in modern history. It usually likes that every single individual has his own rights, that the government has to be approved by its own people, and that everyone should be treated the same way before the law. It also likes free markets, elections between multiple political parties, a separation of powers into different branches of the government, a separation of religion from the government, a set of fundamental values written in the Constitution, privacy rights, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of assembly, and freedom of religion.
In the United States, it's worth pointing out that neoliberalism has basically overshadowed liberalism. Difficult word to say. To the point where it is almost unrecognizable, the ideology. That said, now perhaps you have a better understanding of why when people used to call someone a liberal back in the day, they meant lefty. Because some of those ideas do intersect with what the left is all about, including things like freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, and privacy. However, it's that whole shtick with the free market and making it not so much free as Mad Max times, where the separation began and continues to this day.
Moderatism. Moderatism likes to stay within what is called the Overton window, which is the range of policies politically acceptable to the
Overton window, I'm sorry.
Mainstream population. In most cases, moderates are apolitical, which means that they don't care, but they have a little bit of knowledge about politics. Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system based on the private ownership of the means of production and their operation for profit. The central characteristics of capitalism are private property, free exchange, competition, division of labor, and social cooperation. Socialism. There are many types of socialism, making this an umbrella term. In the classical sense, socialism describes worker-owned means of production, heavily supporting worker coups, democratic self-management, and workplace democracy. Socialism in the modern age advocates workers' democratic self-management, high taxation on the wealthy, and nationalization of key parts of industry. One of its key values is social ownership. Syndicalism.
Pausing for a second. Socialism is often seen as a step towards communism. The difference being, is in my understanding, in a socialist society, the people who work at a place own the means of production. If you work at a factory, because you work at that factory and you do the work with the machines, you have some ownership of the machines. You at least have some say over how the machines are used. In communism, a factory could exist in our town, and you and I would have partial ownership over how those factory machines work. That is a gross oversimplification, but that's the point of this video, to get a broad concept of those things. I'm generally not in favor of communism because I don't see how it practically would apply to my life now. It's literally from a lack of understanding, but I don't feel a need to understand because I see in socialism a system that I think would be more fair. I think if you do the work, you should have a say in how the work is done, essentially.
Capitalism is the son of socialism, and it believes that unionization of the workforce, the establishment of local, decentralized revolutionary worker organizations called syndicates, and advancement of workers' demands through the use of strikes and direct action are the best methods by which a socialist society should be achieved. Once a post-capitalist society is achieved, a congress or commune of syndicates would be created to represent the many unions or areas of the economy for a central government. Corporatism. Corporatism advocates the organization of society in different areas of employment, like agriculture, military, engineering, etc., which people get assigned to based on their interests and skills. It believes in a cross-class system of regulation in which the workers, employers, and state negotiate with one another in order to most efficiently run the economy and satisfy, in theory, all parties involved. It does not refer to a political system dominated by satisfy in.
Wait a minute. Who's unnecessary there? I see the people regulating on the right there, and I see the people doing the work on the left. What's that bum in the middle do, other than siphon off money? This is why I don't like corporatism.
Theory, all parties involved. It does not refer to a political system dominated by large business interests. That would be a corporatocracy. Libertarianism. Libertarianism upholds liberty as a core value, and it seeks to maximize autonomy and political freedom. It likes a very limited government. It believes in the same principles of liberalism, such as equality before the law and the basic rights to life, liberty, and property. Separatism. Separatism also.
Worth pointing out, libertarianism in Europe was a much more left-wing thing than it became over here. Again, you can thank neoliberalism for that.
Commonly known as secessionism, seeks to establish a nation, country, sovereign state, or government that is separate from an already existing nation. Communism. Communism is centered around common ownership of the means of production, distribution, and exchange that allocates products to everyone in society based on need. A communist society doesn't have private property, social classes, money, or the state. Feminism. Feminism aims to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equality of the.
Two things. One, I don't really agree with their description of feminism here. I think feminism is as simple as women should be treated the same way men are. You shouldn't be discriminated against for your gender. Period. End of story. But on the communist. The reason I am not communist, and I suspect I'm talking to the crowd, which will be able to offer a good counterpoint if there's one out there. The reason I'm not so much for communism, given some time to think about it here, to me, I think that humans get taken advantage of when we're overwhelmed, and when you have to decide should this thing or that thing be raised or lowered or increased or decreased or whatever. You eventually just appoint a politician make the decisions for you. And that politician, in my mind, will then take the role of the corporate swindler, doing the same thing in this system. There's my explanation. But I would love someone like Matt Leck to come school me if I'm getting it wrong.
Sexes. It holds the position that societies prioritize the male point of view and that women are treated unjustly in these societies. Efforts to change this include fighting against gender stereotypes and improving educational and professional opportunities for women. Anarchism. Anarchism is an ideology that advocates for a society without rulers or constituted authority, with a focus on the notion of freedom. It advocates for the replacement of the state with stateless societies and voluntary free associations. Environmentalism. Environmentalism, sometimes called green politics, is a term used to represent a range of ideologies that fall under the belief that nature should be a significant factor in deciding public policy, be it increasing recycling, decreasing CO2 emissions, stopping water pollution, etc. Populism. It focuses on appealing to a large number of people and their sensibilities, believing that what the masses want must be what the masses get. It can take on many forms, as its only requirement is that it represents a movement by the people for the people. This causes it to have no real political affiliation. It's often associated with democracies due to its reliance on popular support. It often divides the people from the elite, and it's frequently anti-establishment and anti-politics. Republicanism. Republicanism is an ideology centered around a system of government that is non-hereditary and, in opposition to monarchism, gives political power to its citizens in a state organized as a republic. Progressivism. Progressivism says that heritage that stems from the past is not to be held sacred and should instead be viewed as less important than societal progress. It's basically the opposite of conservatism. Imperialism. Imperialism has traditionally believed a country should expand its power or influence through military action. It was once very popular, and it was basically considerable as moderatism, but it has decreased in popularity over the years. Imperialism is noted for its war advocacy and belief that the powerful nations should rule over the weaker ones. It usually defends himself against accusations of oppression by insisting that colonized people benefit because the richer nations help them and give them things they couldn't get normally. Egalitarianism. Egalitarianism is a school of thought that builds on the concept of social equality, prioritizing it for all people. As such, all citizens of a state should be accorded equal rights and treatment under the law. Transhumanism. Transhumanism believes that everyone should upgrade themselves with technology to overcome both the most basic and most complex of humanity's challenges. The ultimate
Never mind, I'm a transhumanist. That's rad as hell.
objective is for all people to reach immortality and an incredibly advanced mind and body. Communitarianism. Communitarianism is an ideology that emphasizes the well-being of and the importance of the community as the primary social unit. It will typically stress the idea that the left-right binary of politics is holding politics back, as well as argue that policies from both sides of the spectrum are complementary and necessary to benefit the community. It believes that absolute individualism is harmful when it contradicts the common good. Authoritarianism. Authoritarianism is a form of government characterized by a strong power, which is usually central, that demands obedience to authority and limited political and civil freedoms. For example, most classic monarchies are a form of authoritarianism. The ruler of an authoritarian country imprisons and persecutes its opponents. Fascism. Fascism says that people are weak divided, but strong united under the banner, whether that banner be of a state, nation, army, or anything of the like. It is authoritarian, which means that it's characterized by a controlling government that rejects the idea that people can vote between multiple parties. It involves a strong central power, which usually refers to a dictator, so it rejects separation of power. Fascism is also ultranationalist, which is the belief that a nation shouldn't care about other nations' rights as long as it benefits itself. Ultranationalism usually coexists with militarism, which is the idea that a nation should have a powerful enough military to expand national interests and values. Fascism suppresses opposition using forceful methods. It believes in a natural social hierarchy, and it promotes the refusal of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation or race. Nazism. Nazism is a form of fascism with a focus on its racist ideology, which says that the Aryan race is superior. It believes that the Aryan race should rule the rest of the world to make it better, thus being ultranationalist. To be classified as an Aryan by the Nazis, you have to be white, straight, mentally and physically able, non-cowardice, and non-Jewish. If you are considered non-Aryan, you are called Untermensch, which means subhuman. It also likes eugenics, a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of a human population. For that reason, people with inherited disorders are considered useless eaters and were killed or sent to camps on sight, as they were regarded as life unworthy of life. Nazism also hates homosexuals, considering them Untermensch as well. I'll be making similar videos. Subscribe to see them.
Proud Untermensch right here. Gang, that is, get that name correct. That is the Paint Explainer, with every political ideology explained in 8 minutes. I think it's a fantastic channel. I think that's very useful. So often I hear lefties categorized by not lefties as all sorts of things that make no sense. I would recommend, you don't even have to tisk people. I would just recommend you share that video around, because it will be useful for you and the gang to have an understanding of what these ideologies are. I do like transhumanism. That's neat. I think we're probably about 100 years off from it being relevant, but it's still neat. Great video. Gang, thank you for joining me today on this Wicked Radio. We covered a lot of stuff and listened to some fine tunes, but now I want to hear how Here and How ends. That's going on over on the Letterhacks channel as we speak. Hopefully I'll see you over there, but regardless, thank you for joining me for WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. Thanks again to Scott Ward for being a member for 4 months and with a very kind $5 super chat. Appreciated, my friend. I'll see you over on the Letterhack. My name's Jake.